Yeah! Howdy, cowpokes! Mosey on down for today's episode of Disney Animation Reviews with your host, the finest cowpoke I know, Josiah Bilkey. Hi, kids. As you can probably guess from my intro and my headgear, this is a Western. Thank you, Woody. Yes, this is indeed a Western, and it was one of the first times Disney attempted a Western in feature film animation. Unfortunately, it also knocked traditional hand-drawn animation out of Disney's department for several years. That's right, folks, it's finally time. Today we're talking about Disney's 45th animated feature film, Home on the Range. Actually, a bit of a behind-the-scenes story. Well, first off, I have to go through Disney history of what happened before Home on the Range. In fall of 2003, we got Brother Bear, and if you saw my review of that film, you know how that film turned out. After Brother Bear, for Thanksgiving 2003, Disney had the live-action feature film The Haunted Mansion, starring Eddie Murphy, and the Disney Channel had the premiere of the first Kim Possible movie, A Stitch in Time. In the first few months of 2004, we had Disney Toon's theatrical film Teacher's Pet, based off the Saturday morning cartoon series of the same name. Teacher's Pet, the movie, got pretty good reviews, but didn't do so hot at the box office. We had one of my favorite direct-to-video Disney films, The Lion King 1.5, in February 2004. And February 2004 was when Disney bought The Muppets and Bear in the Big Blue House from the Jim Henson Company. The topic of today's review is Home on the Range, originally titled Sweatin' Bullets. It was an idea that Pocahontas director Mike Gabriel had back when he thought, let's do a Western. And the initial idea was about a guy from another side of town who came to an old ghost town and had to take down an undead, ghostly cattle rustler named Slim, who had been trampled to death by cattle years ago and was trying to kill all the cattle in the country. The boy was ultimately replaced by a bull named Bullets, and ultimately the protagonist became the 3 dairy cows that are the protagonists of the film we know today. Home on the Range was released at theaters at the start of April 2004, very unusual release date for an animated Disney feature. Unfortunately, Disney's first attempt at a Western, actually they had done a couple Westerns before this with the short film A Cowboy Needs a Horse, and the Pecos Bill segment of Melody Time, but that was back when Walt Disney was still alive. This was years later. Unfortunately, Home on the Range wasn't the hit Disney had been hoping for. It got mixed critical reviews, although its Rotten Tomatoes score was better than Brother Bear's. But it also only made about $50 million in America and about $104 million worldwide on a $110 million budget. Not nearly as bad as a flop as Treasure Planet, but still not the success Disney had been hoping for. And I have to tell ya, Home on the Range is definitely not worth your time at all. I mean, Brother Bear, I can understand, had potential to be good and is understandable because they want to sell bears, but a movie about cows? Like, who's gonna want to watch a movie about cows? Anyway, here's the plot synopsis. Pretty straightforward, actually. Maggie the cow, our main protagonist, voiced by Roseanne Barr, is the only cow left after the cattle rustler Alameda Slim, voiced by Randy Quaid, steals all the other cattle. And so Maggie has to go live on a farm called Patch of Heaven with a whole bunch of other animals, including 2 other cows, the prim proper Mrs. Calloway, voiced by Judi Dench, and the happy-go-lucky Grace, voiced by Jennifer Tilly. Pearl, the owner of the farm, is told by the sheriff if she can't pay the bank the money she owes them in 3 days, they're going to auction off the farm. The cows decide to go and talk to the sheriff's horse, Buck, voiced by Cuba Gooding Jr., about waiting a couple weeks to get more money, but they only have 3 days to pay the $750 that Pearl owes to the bank. When they find out the reward for capturing Alameda Slim is exactly $750, the cows decide to go and nab Slim and use the reward money to save the farm. Buck, however, wants to capture Slim himself, and we see how the different parties respond to each other. And we find out more about Slim, and that how he steals cattle and then auctions off the properties by using a disguise. We also find out he has a most unusual superpower, the power to hypnotize cows with his yodeling, and that's how he captures them. Right away, Home on the Range has problems. For one thing, the film got a PG rating for brief, mild, rude humor. That brief, mild, rude humor is a line Maggie has about her udders right at the beginning. Seriously, that's what gets them a PG rating at Disney Animation? Not all the dark, religious, and scary stuff in The Hunchback? What a joke. So that's the first problem, is why this film got a PG rating, just one lousy line at the beginning about udders. Second of all, the characters are not that interesting. I think Alameda Slim is an interesting villain with how he steals the cows and everything, but nobody else in this movie is that great. Someone once compared that Pearl, the farmer, doesn't get much to do. Even the farmer in the Babe movies, which also has a Save the Farm plot, even the farmer in that film had more to do than Pearl does. Maggie is a very dislikable protagonist. I wouldn't say she's more or less dislikable than Kenai and Brother Bear, but it's pretty close. Buck is pretty cool because we find out he wants to be a hero for the glory of it, but there's not much else about him that makes him likable. The animation isn't terrible, but it's also not astounding like in Lilo and Stitch or Treasure Planet. And overall, the story really isn't that interesting. We've seen the Save the Farm, Save the Theater, Save the Whatever plot numerous times before. And if you want to see a movie with a plot that has them trying to save whatever place they're trying to save, here, look. Okay, this is how you do a Save the Farm, or in this case, Save the Theater plot right. This is how you do it with animals. Anyway, so yeah, honestly, I really don't care for Home on the Range. The only good thing about it is its music, and even that's saying something, because the music is by Alan Menken, who's worked on several much better animated Disney features like Aladdin and The Little Mermaid. The soundtrack is okay, I guess. I've got my copy right here. It's not a musical, but Alameda Slim and his gang, the Willy Brothers, do have the yodeling song, which might be too reminiscent of Pink Elephants on Parade from Dumbo and Heffalumps and Woozles from Winnie the Pooh, but it's okay, I guess. The rest of the songs are pretty good, but they're not sung by the characters, they're sung by actual people. Katie Lane, Bonnie Raitt, Tim McGraw, and the Bu Sisters. So it's a good soundtrack, it's just not what I'm used to from Disney feature animation. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Home on the Range. Overall, I really don't have that much to like about this movie except the music, and even that's saying something. Without a doubt, this is one of the worst, if not the worst, animated Disney feature in the canon. I'm sorry, but this movie just doesn't work for me. The story is something we've seen before, the humor falls flat, the characters are weak. Even with celebrity voicing like Roseanne Barr and Cuba Gooding Jr., it's really not that special. So if there's one animated Disney feature you can do without that's not the Black Cauldron, Dinosaur, or the upcoming Chicken Little, it's this film. So while I'm telling you to basically just avoid this movie altogether, I will say there are some pretty good bonus features on the home video release. Let's see, Home on the Range's latest home video release was its Blu-ray debut in summer of 2012, opposite the Blu-ray debut of Treasure Planet. Home on the Range's bonus features are pretty good. There's deleted scenes, audio commentary, a music video by the Bu Sisters, a 17-minute behind-the-scenes featurette, and a few more featurettes, and an animated short where the Home on the Range cast tells their version of the Three Little Pigs. The Blu-ray loses a couple of games from the DVD, but the Blu-ray is also a combo pad that includes the original 2004 DVD copy, with the previews changed to reflect what was coming in 2012. So the DVD does retain the games that are missing from the Blu-ray. But honestly, do not, I repeat, do not watch Home on the Range. It's a total waste of time, And if your kids are just dying for a save the theater, save the farm, save the whatever plot, try one of the movies I just showed you, The Muppets or Sane. And if they do want a Western, just have them watch the Woody's Roundup parts of Toy Story 2. Or if that's not enough, have them watch VeggieTales The Ballad of Little Joe and Mo and the Big Exit, which is the biblical stories of Joseph and Moses told as Westerns. Those are much better Westerns in my opinion. And if that's still not enough, have them watch DreamWorks' Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron and or its Netflix series, Spirit Riding Free. Some might disagree that it's too kid-like, the series is too kid-like compared to the movie, but at least it's a much better Western than the Home on the Range garbage. But yeah, do not watch Home on the Range at all. If you're looking for a Western, there's plenty of other. There's Spirit Riding Free. There's the movies I just mentioned for the Save the Farm, Save the Theater plot. But do not watch Home on the Range at all. It is not worth your time. Thankfully, we've only got one more disaster after this, and then it's back to the good stuff. Or stepping stones to help us get back to the good stuff at Disney. Well, remember, when you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Even if those dreams don't always turn out the way you thought they would. Well, say goodnight, Woody! So long, partners!